2022 came along, my stock portfolio is down 20% plus, or it could have been 2008 when that happened. I'm down 30%. And I'm like, now I'm sitting here going, how am I going to do this? I do need some of the value of this business to make this thing happen.
Right. Or you could need it for family equalization. You got a son in the business, but you have other family members, and you don't want
good
the son
point.
to end up being, the only person that got value out of this, and the rest of the family got hosed in the transaction.
Perfect. That's a really good point. Thank you. So now we go through and we recapitalize the business. So instead of 100 shares, there's 10 million shares.
Right. It's not really technically recapitalization. I misspoke earlier. It's really a stock split. Okay.
Stock split. Got it.
So there's no real, no taxes or implication. It's just whatever a share was. If it's $100, 100 shares at 10 million, whatever that turns out to be. Yep. Now I'm just making 10 million shares at $1 because it makes the redemptions easy, and it makes bringing the other next generation shareholder into the equity stream real easy. So you got it.
So the next generation are the managers that are going to buy it out, buy a share for $1.
Right.
Capital transaction, everything's all up and up. And now as my AAA account increases each year, so let's say AAA increased by $300,000, and I'm just picking a number out of the air. I can take and redeem those shares. So instead of having 10 million, 9,999,000 shares, whatever that number is, I'm going to have 300,000 shares less, but I got $300,000 in my pocket, tax-free.
Yes, capital gains tax-free.
Capital gains tax-free.
Okay. I mean, as an S corp, somebody had to pay. In your example, somebody had to pay the income on whatever generated that $300,000 after tax. So there was a tax paid, and that's critical. So because we're not messing around with the IRS here, we're just not electing to pay a completely voluntary tax once you understand the tax code. So there was ordinary income tax paid at the shareholder level and at the entity level, which is the same in an S corp, but it's what you do with the money that's left over.
Got it. And so now, if you're doing it at $300,000 a clip or $1 million a clip or whatever it is that you're doing it at, that is why you need the time to be able to make this thing happen.
Right. So, it would be a real stretch. And I know we're just talking theoretically here. It'd be a real stretch on a $10 million business to be only earning $300,000 a year after tax. It'd take a long time to transition out.
Right.
But there's some technical issues here that Ron has managed to boil down eloquently. And so the principles of Popeye basically revolve on what he calls TTP, time, trust, and profitability. All right. So without going into the technical nuances here, when you get into redemption discussions as it relates to 302, specifically 302B2, there's this whole thing called disproportionate redemptions and what is grotesquely mischaracterized as the 80% rule. Okay. Again, we don't want to go there, but ideally to create a safe harbor and avoid all of this mess. And again, let me just reiterate the whole idea here, and this is the counterintuitive part. The whole idea is to avoid a capital transaction. You want ordinary income tax treatment on this, and it was not going to work until the creation of S corps. Okay, because back in the time when the code was written, ordinary income rates were 90-some% and capital gains were in the 20s. And so people were trying to get ordinary income treatment capital gains treatment. And the tax code was written to make it hard to do that.
Yep.
Then when you get the S corporation overlay on it, it eliminates that second level of taxation you have it at C corps. And the code was written to punish people who did not meet the capital transaction requirements by basically imposing ordinary income tax on them. Well, now we have an S corp, and it's okay That's what I want. I do not want to pay capital gains. I want to pay ordinary income because I only have one level of income and I've already paid it. So if I can not have a capital transaction, then I have an ordinary income transaction, and in an S corp, I've already paid the income on it. And so if I keep it to that year's increase in the AAA account, I can redeem stock, I can give dividends to people, I can do everything. And when they receive them, they don't pay another level of tax because they've already paid it.